So I just got kicked out of the Turning Point event. Now let me tell you guys what happened, because I cannot believe this. I was so excited about this. I'm just so like in disarray right now. I can't believe that this is happening. But let me tell you guys what happened from start to finish. I got kicked out for something that I had no involvement in. But let me tell you guys, let me walk you guys through what actually happened. So yesterday, Charlie Kirk had his event, and one of the things that he had was "Prove Me Wrong," Charlie Kirk. So, and if you look on the page, it literally says that, you know, test your debate skills. Like, prove me wrong. Like, did you ever want to test your debate skills? Like, come debate Charlie. So I'm like, well, even though I was, okay, sorry. So I figured that would be the perfect opportunity for me to talk to Charlie Kirk. Because, you know, I never been to any event like this before. This is like something completely new to me. A lot of people don't know this, but like I'm really shy. So when I saw that Charlie Kirk was going to be asking questions, I said, okay, I have to do this. And this is something that was completely out of my comfort zone, because I mean, asking a question in front of a bunch of people, like that's like so nerve-wracking. I didn't care if I lost the debate or not. I was going to ask him a question that I haven't really heard him ask like before. I was really excited to ask him this, and I was going to ask him basically a question about separation between church and state and how religion can be involved in government and when that becomes problematic. For example, we are funding a war, a lot of congressmen have said, on behalf of Israel because of what's in the Bible. Now, I'm not a Christian myself, I'm an atheist, but even Christians cannot agree on what that means in the Bible. So if you have people that are not Christians, and you have people that are from different religions, why should we all be dragged into this war because of something that one religion, that not even the people in the religion agree with? Like half of Christians don't even agree with that. So I was just going to ask him about the involvement with religion and government, like particularly Israel, and how that can lead to negative effects, because I think religion and I think religion and government should be separate. So I was going to basically ask him about that and the founding fathers, what they intended for America to be. That's what I wanted to ask him a question on. I'm sorry, I had this written down a lot better, but that's basically what the gist of what I was going to ask him about. So when I get to the event, I am nervous as hell, okay? I'm like, yo, I'm like so scared right now. I was super nervous. Mind you, I had foot surgery, so like I had to stand in line for a long time to ask him a question, okay? So this was really painful for me, but I was like, this is such a great opportunity. I had to ask him, and I'm going to be like, even though I was so nervous, like I was shaking, I literally was shaking in the crowd because, you know, I was so nervous, but I was like, yo, I'm going to be so proud once I do it. Tell me why, when we get there, first thing Charlie Kirk says, we welcome him, you know, he says hi to everybody. First thing he says, no politics, guys. That, I mean, I was like, is my question politics? I mean, maybe kind of, maybe, okay, I'll just leave Israel out of it. So he said no politics. So the line, there was not like a single file line. The line was just a big pile, and I was always wondering how we were going to even like, how the line was supposed to work. Turns out, they came up to me, and they were like, hey, you're going to ask him a question? I said, yeah. And they said, what's your question? And I was kind of confused. I said, oh, I want to ask Charlie Kirk a question. She said, yeah, I know, but what's your question? And I was like, oh, you want me to tell you what I'm going to ask Charlie Kirk? Okay. And I told her what I was going to ask him. She kind of like looked at me. She talked to somebody else on the staff, and then they were talking together and like looking at me. Basically, I feel like they were saying, like, should we like let her ask that or not? Should we let her ask that or not? I didn't get a no, but I didn't get a yes either. So I thought that there was still a chance that I could have been asked him a question. So we wait around for a long time, and the questions that he's getting, mind you, they're like, what's your favorite sports team? What's your favorite mascot? Like, they were asking him the most like just random questions about sports because he said no politics. And one of the dudes that I ended up finding this out later, one of the dudes, he said that he had to lie about what his question was so he can ask him about Jeffrey Epstein and something to do with Israel. I forgot what he was talking about, but he wanted to ask him about that. So basically, he lied so he can get on the microphone, and then he asked Charlie Kirk that question about Israel. Charlie Kirk, I think it's on video, Charlie Kirk was not happy. He like kind of went off on him, and they were arguing back and forth. And yeah, like he just didn't like that at all. So he gets his question answered though. And like we're waiting to like have our questions asked. So then they come back up to us and they're asking other people what their question is. And this girl, she had a really good question who I was sitting to. But when they kept saying, no politics, guys, no politics. So they would say, what's your question? and then they would tell them their question. I seen them turn down a lot of people. They said no. The girl I was with, she had a really good question that she wrote down and everything. Mind you, I was doing research myself. Like, I was researching about the founding fathers and Thomas Jefferson, John Adams. I was doing lots of research myself, so I really wanted to ask them that question. But when they kept like picking and choosing people, they went up to her and she said, "What's your question?" And the girl I was with, she just said that, "What's your favorite mascot?" And they said, "Okay, let's go to the front of the line." Mind you, that was not her question. So they were picking people that had like the dumbest, weirdest questions that nobody cared about. They didn't pick me, and I was so upset because I felt like that would have been such like an opportunity and such a great conversation, because I don't think I ever heard anybody ask him that. So I was really looking forward to it. I like got the courage to go up there and ask him that, and I just feel like, you know, all of us paid to go see him, and the fact that like we weren't even allowed to ask him political questions, especially in a time like this, it's like, that's crazy to me. So I was pretty upset. I honestly, like, I was so upset. I was just ready to go home. I was not interested in anything Charlie Kirk. I didn't want to listen to him preach, okay? I'm not interested in that. You don't want to take questions, but then you want to listen to me, but then you want me to listen to you, like speak for an hour or two. I'm not interested. So I stayed for a while in, like, the area where that is. Everybody else left to the main stage to, like, go watch Charlie. I wasn't watching him. And then I end up talking to, like, a journalist or, like, a reporter. And he, like, there was this guy that was like listening to me, and he said he was the one that asked Charlie Kirk about Israel, and Charlie Kirk, like, him and they were going off on each other. So well, not really each other, but it was heated. So he like, we were talking, and then he was pissed off because he spent $500 on a VIP ticket. Yeah, we were just talking, and when I talked to him, I felt so much better because I thought I was the only one that was disappointed. Everybody else was like, "Love you, Charlie, love you, Charlie." Okay, I thought I was the only one that was extremely disappointed. And when he came and talked to me, he said, "No, Eric, a lot of people are pissed off." You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, like, I'm so happy that, like, I met you. And, like, you know, we were just, like, chatting it up. You know what I'm saying? And we, like, agreed on that. And then went our separate ways. I didn't hang out with him the rest of the day. I don't know him like that. So, yeah, you know. Later that night, okay, so I was going to leave. But I was like, you know what? I really want to see Tucker Carlson. Tell me why. He asked Tucker Carlson basically the same question. Like, why am I anti-Semitic for this? Blah, blah, blah. And it's on video. I'm pretty sure this is on video. He asked Tucker Carlson the same question. Tucker Carlson gave him a completely different response. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a welcoming response, and it made sense. It was an American first response that everybody agreed with. So, is Tucker Carlson, like, why is Tucker Carlson allowed that turning point? Like, what does turning point stand for? Because Tucker Carlson was saying the same thing. So why did he get kicked out for saying what Tucker Carlson was saying? But I digress. Tucker Carlson appreciated the question, and a lot of people came up to him after that appreciating the question. So this is how a lot of MAGA is feeling. But we're not allowed to say that because we're just not allowed to say that, even though so much MAGA is feeling this way. Anyway, I digress. So that was yesterday. Tomorrow, or today, I'm sorry. The next day I get there, and, you know, I'm just having a good time. I'm just, like, going around the vendors, and a lot of people like me. Like, a lot of them liked me. I was very nice to everybody. I was always very respectful. So I was having fun, you know what I'm saying? I had people ask to take pictures with me. I was having a good time. And before today, I was, like, posting on my social media. You guys see me posting Turning Point, saying how, like, I met all these creators I couldn't believe I met. So I was like starstruck. I was having such a good time. It was such a great opportunity for me. And I was so happy to meet people that I've been following for years. So yeah, and I'm just having a good time. Then the guy that I met yesterday that we talked about, Charlie Kirk and Israel, whatever it was, then he comes up to me, or I don't know who came up to who, but we were just like, yo, what's up? And that's when he told me about Tucker Carlson and how, like, everybody loves him and, like, his question. Because a lot of people, like, liked his question. I'm not gonna say who they were, but these are powerful people that, you know, were, like, saying, like, yo, like, you know, you should, like, do more with this. Like, lots of people, I don't want to put all his business out, but I'm just saying a lot of people appreciate the question. So we were just talking, and we were basically, so I was on TikTok Live at this point. And when I was on TikTok Live, I was explaining everything that happened yesterday, how Charlie Kirk did not let us ask him a political question, and he was explaining how, you know, Charlie Kirk got so mad because he brought up Israel. And one of the things that he said was, and I thought this too, on everything, I thought this too, when you walked into the exhibit hall, the first thing you see was a vendor with like Israeli flags. That's the first thing you see, a bunch of Israeli flags. Listen, I have nothing against any country. I have nothing against Israel. I just feel like we're in America. The first thing you see should not be a foreign government. That's just how I feel. So I thought that too, but then he said it and I was like, I feel the same way. So we were just talking about that on TikTok Live, and then it got into the subject about Israel. Why are we funding Israel? Shouldn't we put America first? And that was the whole spill. So he was talking about Israel on my live, and then we kept talking about the venue. So, or not the venue, the vendor. So he went up to the vendor and he was like, why is Israel? Well, okay, sorry. So he went up to the vendor. And then he asked her, like, what's this organization? And it had something to do with Christian and Jews, and they like worked together with Turning Points for something. But it was like a Christian and Jews things, but it was all Israeli flags. So he was just saying, like, do you think it's Christian, like, what's going on right now? Mind you, this guy's a big Trump supporter, okay? He is a 3-time Trump voter. That's what he told me. He's a conservative, like, all the way. So he was basically upset because he was saying that Charlie Kirk only debates like blue hair liberals and the woke idiots that don't know what a woman is. That's who Charlie Kirk likes to debate. But when it comes to, when you're in a room full of MAGA people, the questions are going to be a little bit more, you know, a little bit more serious, a little bit more, you know, catch you off your game. So he was asking the vendor what they do, and she explained that it's a Christians and Jews situation. And he was basically saying, like, do you think Zionism is the same as Judaism, and why am I anti-Semitic? Because I don't want my money funding this war. And basically, you guys know. And he was saying how his family, like, how they killed Nazis. You know what I'm saying? So he's not anti-Semitic. Like, he despises Nazis, but he doesn't like what's going on in the Israeli government. And he was also saying how Israel in the Bible is not the Israel government that we know today. So he was basically talking to this vendor about that, and he was kind of like asking her questions, and he was basically saying, like, why are they doing this? Why is Israel doing that? Why is Israel doing that? And she couldn't answer a lot of questions. But my thing is, at no point did she say, okay, I don't know, like, I don't want to have this conversation, like I'm not having this conversation. At no point did she stop the conversation. So he kept going. And it did start to get a little heated. He did start getting mad about, like, talking about, like, the government stuff. He did start to get a little heated, I'll admit that. But no point did, like, she, like, end the conversation. So eventually she walked away, and he was just talking about, you know, we were just talking about Israel or whatever. Mind you, when I was filming, so here's what I was doing. Let me be very clear. Me and him were talking personally. When we went to the vendors, I did not say anything to the vendor because I mean, she was a nice person, and it's not my job to, like, debate a vendor that's there to do a job. So I did not say anything to the vendor. I can see if, like, it was a 2-on-1 and I was dogpiling. I did not say anything to the vendor. I was nice to the vendors, and I have the whole thing on video, so y'all gonna see. But I was nice to the vendors. I did not say anything. I did not even agree with him because he, you know, he can speak for himself. He was having, like, the whole like debate or whatever. I did not get involved when he was talking to her because, like, I'm not gonna, like, dogpile on somebody. He was taking care of it himself. I was filming it. I was live streaming the thing, and eventually, after that happens, so she gave him an Israeli flag, and then he put it back on the table. I don't know, like, they're saying that he threw it. I don't, like, remember, like, exactly what happened there, but he gave the Israeli flag back, whatever happened, and eventually they come to us and they asked him to leave. And then he said, why am I leaving? I didn't do anything. I spent $500. Like, do I not have freedom of speech? And they said, like, you have to leave. And he said, no, I'm not leaving. So they arrested him. And only thing I said to them, I said that, yo, like, the vendor didn't tell us to stop, like, talking. Or, like, the vendor didn't tell him to stop talking to her. The vendor never once, like, asked, like, hey, like, can you leave me alone? You know what I'm saying? And I heard the security tell the cops that he threw a flag at her and made her cry. That's what I heard him tell the police, because then the police did ask why, but it was like a side conversation. They didn't outright tell him that that's why he's being escorted off. So he ends up getting arrested. I had the whole thing on camera, and people were coming up to me asking me what happened, and I'm telling everybody what happened. There was a cop that liked my content, and we were talking the night before, so I was pretty cool with them. And then I talked about it, like, today. I talked to that same person today, and they were saying that the reason why he got arrested was because they threw a flag. And I was like, damn. And I literally said to the cop, I said, damn, like, that's crazy. But I don't think that, like, he should have been arrested or kicked off. And I did say to the cop, I did say, like, maybe I should have calmed him down. But the thing is, I'm not responsible for another person's actions. That, like, all I was doing was recording. I'm not responsible for another person's actions, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, if the vendor did say that, like, she, like, wanted to stop talking, then I would have, like, you know what I'm saying, walked away. But I did not, like, I cannot control another grown man. He did not personally attack her. Let's be very clear. He was attacking the Israeli government. That's what he was going off about, the Israeli government and like what they're doing in like Palestine. Mind you, this is not a liberal at all. This is not no liberal that tried to, like, crash the event. This is a conservative, okay, way more conservative than me, mind you. So he got arrested, and we talked about why he got arrested, and I told the cop, I was like, maybe I could have done things differently, but, you know, I can't control somebody else's reaction. And she was like, yeah, you know, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. The cop was literally saying that. Tell me why 20 minutes later I'm thinking it's over, and they come back up to me and they're like, hey, what's your name? I tell them my name, and they said, yeah, can you come with us? I should have just stayed my ground and said, I'm not leaving until you tell me where, but I walked with them, and I kept walking until I realized, okay, where the hell am I going? And mind you, I have really bad foot pain, so like these last few days have been really, really hard on my feet, because I'm not used to standing up like this at all. You know, I had foot surgery, and it hurts to, like, stand up for so long. So I'm like, yo, like, I'm not about to keep walking. Where am I going? Because, like, this is hurting my feet. You know what I'm saying? And he said, so because you were involved in the event, we're gonna have to ask you to leave. And I said, I wasn't involved. I was just filming. Like, I didn't do anything. And he said, well, we have to ask you to leave. I asked him so many times, both security guards, what happened. And he just said that, you know, we have to ask you to leave. And the same cop, I don't know if they called the cop over there or if she, like, where she, whatever, but I saw her and I told her, I was like, yo, like, you know, say something. Like, didn't I tell you that, like, I felt bad, like, maybe I should have calmed him down, but I couldn't control him? And I was asking, how am I supposed to control somebody else? So, like, put yourself in my shoes. You go to a protest, or not protest, you go to an event, you're talking to somebody. Sure, you are friendly with them because, you know what I'm saying, we were getting along. I'm not going to deny that. But why would I be punished because of something that he did? And it's not like I was encouraging it. I was just filming it. You know what I'm saying? So why was I kicked off? So they said they would not give me a reason. They kicked me off. And they took my badge, so I can't come back tomorrow. Mind you, I'm all the way in St. Pete. I do not like driving in Tampa. If you guys look at my post, look at my post. I went out of my comfort zone coming here. I drove all the way coming here. And I know it's not a long drive to a lot of you guys, but I have really bad driving anxiety. I don't mess with Tampa. I don't drive around in Tampa. You guys know how bad Tampa traffic is, I'm sure. So this was completely out of my comfort zone. And I'm doing all of this because I was so excited to come here. Please look at my post about me saying I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm going to push through this weekend and it's going to be amazing. Even though I'm in pain, even though my freaking feet are hurting, I'm going to push through. I was so excited. And I was going to come back tomorrow. And I'm not allowed back. They took my badge. They said I'm not allowed back. I had to stay off the property. And like, I think like 2 minutes later, two other bystanders, innocent bystanders, they were also asked to leave. And I found out later that they lied and said that they lied on the two boys and said that they verbally assaulted a vendor. They did not do that. We were recording the whole time. That never ever happened. And then I'm gonna let them speak on it. I'm gonna interview them eventually. And then they admitted that they messed up to them, but they never admitted that they messed up to me. So we, like, all four of us got kicked out. Maybe more that I'm not sure. I don't know. But it seemed like anybody that was around that saw it, they got kicked out. Guilty by association, I guess. That's basically what it was, guilty by association. So, yeah, I got kicked out, and I'm just really disappointed because I was really looking forward to this, you know what I'm saying? I was really looking forward to talking to Charlie. I never got to talk to Charlie. I loved the Tucker Carlson event last night, and it was so amazing. I was like, I'm glad I stayed because I really liked hearing Tucker Carlson talk. And so I got asked to kicked out, and I was so pissed off because I'm just like, wow. So after I was kicked out, I was like sitting by the sidewalk or chilling by the sidewalk. So after I got kicked out, I was like chilling by the sidewalk, just kind of ranting at that point because I was just pissed off. So a lot of people came up to me, asked me what happened, and even like other influencers, every influencer that came up to me, they were like, yo, I love your content. And then I told them that I got kicked out, and I told them what happened. They're like, oh my God, that's so fucked up. So a lot of influencers were coming up to me saying, I'm so sorry that's happened. I'm so sorry that happened. And some influencers did like warn me. They're like, oh, like maybe, you know, you shouldn't talk about it because you know how they are, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what could happen. So yeah, like other people were, but a lot of them were also like, you know what, if you do this, I'm gonna share it. So yeah, I mean, I got a lot of love from the other content creators, and yeah, so that's what happened. And at this point, I'm just really upset because I didn't do anything wrong. I went way out of my comfort zone coming here. I did so much promoting this event, and here's the saddest part is how many people were looking forward to seeing me. Like, even people that planned on, there are people that literally got tickets because they wanted to see me tomorrow. Like, I have a follower that got a ticket because she wanted to see me tomorrow. Like, there are people that like wanted to see me, and the fact that like I never do things like this. I never been to a Turning Point event. I never been to like a thing so public. Like, this is not normal for me, guys. I really put myself out there, and I thought that this would be such a great opportunity, and it was. I met so much great people, so I would forever be grateful for the opportunity and the people I met. But as far as like Charlie Kirk himself, the way he handled this, the way we weren't allowed to ask political questions, the way we got kicked out for no reason, no justification, for a party that advocates for free speech. And I got kicked out for speech I didn't even have. But, you know, you're associated with somebody that had speech we didn't like, basically. So, at this point, you know what I want to say? Fuck it. Who's running America at this point? You know what I'm saying? Like, who is really running America? Because it seems like there's a pattern. Everything that's going on, anytime you criticize, you know who, like this shit, like it's like you just can't do that for some reason. And I'm fucking tired of talking about it. I don't want our taxpayer dollars. You guys want to know my stance? I didn't say this to the vendor. I said this in a personal conversation, so I wasn't attacking the vendor. But you guys want to know my thoughts on the whole thing? We should not be sending Israel any money. That's my thoughts. Let's put America first. Y'all love saying that about Ukraine, but when it comes to Israel, all of a sudden it's, oh, you know, we need to send them all our money. No, we don't. Let's hold Netanyahu accountable for his corruption trial. Why is Trump trying to get involved in a corruption trial with the foreign minister, whatever he is? Why is Trump trying to get involved in that? If he has corruption, they need to deal with that. Why are you trying to protect that? I don't like that about Trump. So I think that we need to put America first. Israel can fight its own wars. I'm not even about to come out here with a free Palestine flag. No. Do I think what's happening is horrible? Absolutely. And it makes me sick to my stomach. Yes, it is horrible. Okay, I will say that. But at the same time, I don't think we should be the American police of the world. So if I'm saying that because I don't think we should send Ukraine weapons, how the hell is it any different from Israel? It's not. In fact, it's worse. What we're doing right now, helping funding this war, it's worse. We're going to look bad in history. It's going to look bad on us. And it's just horrible. We should not be involved. America first applies to everybody. That's my take on it. That's how I feel. And I would love to talk more about this. But that's what happened. I'm so disappointed in you, Charlie Kirk. I'm so disappointed in you, Turning Point. You guys owe me an apology because I did not do anything wrong. Everybody wants to say America first. Everybody wants to say freedom of speech. But do you really believe that when it goes against your own beliefs? That's the problem I have. Oh, and fun fact. So when I was talking to other people, I found out, because I wasn't watching Charlie speak. I was over him. Yesterday, he said the reason why he didn't want conservatives asking him political questions was because he didn't want to debate with conservatives. I mean, here's the thing. We can agree to disagree. That is like, that does not make any sense. So you want us to ask you what's your favorite color ice cream? Same thing, like you want Joe Biden questions, basically. He wanted Joe Biden questions from us. I'm really disappointed because, like I said, we didn't even do anything and we got kicked out. I don't know. I'm just really disappointed in Charlie Kirk and the Turning Point at this point. So that's what ended up happening, guys. I will be posting the full live stream, unedited, and you guys will see for yourselves everything that happened because I don't have to lie about anything. But as always, thank you for watching. Subscribe, support my channel, because, yo, I might get my accounts taken down after this. Like, I really don't know what kind of power they have. I might get my accounts taken down. So if I do, y'all gonna know who it was. So subscribe, help get the word out. Help, if anybody you know that could interview me about this or talk to about this, give them my information, like, please, because this needs to be exposed, okay? There's no going back at this point. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Follow me at Patriotic Baddie. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Follow me at Patriotic Baddie. Love y'all.